seems to be no more questions. Thank you very much, Yuri, again. And then I would like to ask the next speaker, Sanna Kauppinen from Finland. She will also be speaking about this question, harvesting methods in Finland, also northern region, short time of growing of the berries. So Sanna, we are keen to hear your news. Private researcher, very interesting position. I see your passion for Seabuckthorn is not broken. Please switch on your microphone, Sanna.
You didn't. All right, now, do you hear me?
Yes, it's okay.
Thank you, Thomas, and everybody. So fun to see you. For so long time, last time. I tried to come to Greece last year, but it didn't happen. But this is better than nothing. What's the timetable, Thomas? When I have to stop?
After 20 minutes, I hope. And I will give
Okay.
you one raised hand that you see when 18 minutes
Okay.
are over.
Thank you. I try to share the screen.
Yes, we see something interesting.
Yes. How I go back from here? I do it again. Just a moment. Yeah, this is maybe a better way.
Yes.
Okay.
We see your screen. And now we see the presentation.
Okay. Right, my topic is harvesting Seabuckthorn by cutting methods in Finland. And as Thomas said, my title is private researcher. I used to be a researcher in Natural Resources Institute Finland, but nowadays I'm working in a big greenhouse company. I started there 2018, so this is already my 4th year out from research place. But since the testing area happened to be in my own yard, I'm still continuing the researching what I started in 2011. And I'm going to tell the results of harvesting. And my do you see the whole screen? Yeah, now. Tell me if some of the text is out of the screen, but you don't see it. Well, my questions are that do the plants stand harvesting by cutting in Finnish climate, since we are very north? And is harvesting by cutting profitable? And there was no yield information of this, and I started to try. And there's 2 testing areas, and they are in different hardiness zones. And here you see the map of Finland. And my picture is there, but here. And another place is in Juva, where I live, and it's hardiness zone 3. And then Kurikka is another farmer there, Seabuckthorn farmer, and that place is in hardiness zone 4. so it's a little bit colder and not so good soil and more wind there and not so much snow during the winter than I had in Juba. And then I had 3 cultivars in the trial. Terhi and Tytti are Finnish cultivars. They are selections of natural Seabuckthorn bushes growing in the western coast. And then Iria is not the cultivar yet, but the selection that is crossing between Russian and Finnish cultivar. And then I had 2 cutting methods. Total cut, what you already know, that is the normal cutting way. You cut the total bush. And then vertical split is a method Andres Bruvelis has launched a few years ago. He told about it in Euroberg's meeting 2014, and I decided to take that into my tests. Each cultivar had 8 test plants, and these plants were planted 2011 or 12, and harvesting started in most of the bushes 2015. So not so long time ago, and some of the bushes have been cut 4 times this far, but most of them less than that. So I'm just in the beginning of the testing. And in every bush I harvested separately, and I count the berries, leaves and branches and share of them. So I know how much, what's the share of each fraction. Interesting. Move. Okay. Here are again the cutting methods. In total cut, all the branches of the upper part of the bush are cut down from the height of 50 to 80 centimeters. It depends. I look the bush and I decide what's the good height, because I want to leave all the branches below that height so that it will have enough leaves to survive the hard cutting. And this total cut was done every other year to some of the bushes and every 3rd year to the others, to find out if the resting years, if they are needed 2 resting years instead of 1 in the climate conditions where Finland situates. And yeah, as I said, branches growing below cutting line were saved. And then in vertical split, the bush is divided vertically into half, and the first part, the other part is harvested this year, second part next year, and then the 3rd year the whole bush is resting. And that way the cycle is 3 years. Here is cultivar Terhi, all 10 of them in a row. And here you see bush number 1 in the front, and it's in a total cut and every other year. And height before cutting, this is picture from last year. Height was 160 centimeters. And when I cut it, I got berries, 3.5 kilos, 1 kilo of leaves, and a little bit over 1 kilo of branches. Here you see the same bush after cutting. And the cutting height last year was 70 centimeters. That was good height to save the lower branches. This table don't concentrate it so much, but I want to show you the yield of terhi, and this is berry yield, and here are the years, and the yellow means vertical split, and green means total cut, and here are the 8 bushes. And here, as I have written here, that vertical split changes easily into total cut. I haven't been focused well enough, and then I have just cut it down because it looks like the other side has a lot of berries too. So that's why all of these have actually now gone into total cut. But here you see the rhythm. 2 years of cutting, then resting year, and then again cutting the other half. Here I have cut only the other half. I've got 7 kilos berries from there. Then a resting year, and then I've changed into a total cut because the other side looks so weak. But here you see 2 bushes are in total cut every other year, and then 3 bushes total cut every 3rd year. And in some of them I'm getting very nice yields. Then Iria grows differently. As you see, the terhi and tytti, they are very bushy, like bushes. They grow naturally very bushy-like, and you don't have to cut them to grow like a half ball. But then Iria has Russian blood, and that's why it grows more upwards. And this bush is in total cut every 3rd year. And last fall I got 5.6 kilos berries, 2 kilos leaves, and 2 kilos branches out of it. And other area, same way, total cut every 3rd year, 5 kilos berries, 1.7 leaves, and 1.7 branches. And here is one picture of vertical split. This part I have cut in 2019, and this part last year, and I got 3 kilos of berries out of it. Iria is very productive. The way that it can produce berries easily every other year. And here you see I have in vertical split I have 3 bushes, and in these 3 years in a row they have been producing so much yield even after cutting last year, that I've been cutting them 3 times, 3 years in a row, and then resting year, and then again cutting. But to show you the conclusion of those figures is that the best average yield per bush this far has been about 1.5 kilos. And this 1.5 kilos means that it tells you how much you get crop every year after harvesting has started, even if the bush has a year of resting. So I have divided it to every year after I have started harvesting in that bush. And here you see location Juva, and Terhi, Tytti, and Irja, and in location Kurikka, Terhi, Tytti, and Irja. And you see that in Kurikka, the yield per bush has been almost only half of the amount what I've got in Juva location. And it seems that that in hardiness zone 3 you still can get quite good crop in Seabuckthorn, but the norther and the more harder climate you go in Finland, the yield is getting quite low. And Irja didn't do very well in Kurikka, and that's why I don't even have yield data of that. But here you see the 3 different ways to harvest, and it seems that all of them are giving about the same result. Here, Tytti in every 3rd year has given still quite low, but I think I have it in quite dry place, and I got the irrigation system done only 2 years ago, so I think it's going to catch after getting more water nowadays. But with that 1.5 kilo per bush and 1,800 female plants per hectare, the yield divided every year would be 2,700 kilos per hectare. And if counting it to the year of harvest, then in vertical split it would be about 4,000 kilos per harvest year, and in total cut every 3rd year it would be 8,000 kilos per harvest year, and total cut in every 2nd year it would be 5,400 kilos per hectare. And according to profitability calculations, average yield should be around 2 kilos per bush in order to get production profitable. I come back to that soon. But then share of the berries, leaves, and branches were these for Terhi and Tytti. Berries 65%, leaves 16%, branches 20%. This was quite similar from year to year and in between these 2 cultivars. And these cultivars are growing moderately, but are regenerating very well without dying back. I have tried also, I have many other cultivars and selection plants in my test yard, but I dropped them away from the trial because they didn't handle the total cut or even the vertical split. They died back too much. And Terhi and Tytti can be cut down very low stem, and they still come there very nicely. And then this Irja selection, it had less berries and more leaves because it's a strongly growing cultivar with big leaves. It regenerates very good too, and no dying back. So very promising cultivar to us, to our climate. And summa summarum, harvesting by both cutting methods is possible in Finland. The plants, they survive and they regenerate, but the cultivar has to be winter hardy in Finland conditions. And profitable production depends on, of course, many factors, but in calculations according to Anu Koivisto, she had a poster in Euroworks 2014, and it's published. According to her calculations, average yield should be around 2 to 2.5 kilos per bush when divided to every year after harvest, in order to have profitability ratio over 1. But I will continue my working with my test field, because some of the bushes have been harvested only twice, and I want to see how long they will give me yield, and what will be the average yield in the future. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for your presentation, just in time, perfectly done. I would like to open the discussion. First, who raised hand is Daniela Kupec. Please ask your question.
Hello, thank you very much, Sanna, for your project. I'm interested in the temperatures you have in the different hardy zones you presented at the beginning.
Well, they don't differ much from each other, but it's more the would I say microclimate, or soil is different. Here in Juva we have better soil. It's more moraine kind of soil, and in that area where Kurikka is situated, it's more clay, and Seabuckthorn doesn't like so much clay, and it's also more windy. There are no so much forests to have a shelter. So, but I can't say you the temperature difference, but it's warmer here in eastern side of Finland.
Okay, thank you.
I can send you some. There are data in every place in Finland. You can have data per month and per day. I can send you those if you're interested, but I haven't checked that myself.
Okay. Thank you. I will send an email.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yuri, you would like to ask a question?
Hello, Sanna.
Hello, Yuri.
Okay, my question is regarding irrigation and fertilization. Is it? Do you have any recommendations regarding such approaches? Does it help to survive plants or increase productivity or something like that?
Well, I agree with. Was it Thorsten you who had this investigation about giving just water and giving water and fertilizers, and you got the result that the water is the thing. If it gets enough water, that's the main thing to get a good crop. But I give some fertilizing. I give organic chicken manure that doesn't have much nitrogen in it, since it gets its own nitrogen. But yeah, I try to keep the good level, but not giving too much. But I think the water is the main thing. My place is quite dry, actually. It's in a hill, top of the hill. But now when I have the dripping irrigation there, I will do better.
Yes, thank you. But I think it's this question is under debate. I'm mainly thinking about fertilization, because nitrogen or potassium or kalium, it's a different influence on survival of bushes. And I think maybe someone of our groups can have some experience and share this experience. Irrigation, of course, it's good, but not every of kind of fertilization can be good for surviving of Seabuckthorn. It's just comment, okay? It's just a comment. And my next question is, you mentioned about vertical split, okay? Also proposed by Andres, okay? But as I saw, it's a little bit different compared to that he today explained. Yes, it's a short type of cutting. Yes.
Can you repeat your question? Your every other word I don't hear because it's the line is not clear.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. My question was regarding vertical split. Okay,
yes.
Technique, vertical split. It's a little bit different compared to that Andres today explained to us. Okay, it's a short type of harvesting, short type of cutting. Well, am I right?
Well, Andres didn't show the vertical split. He had this different type, more complicated type, but that vertical split he explained 2014 in our meeting. That was the simple one. Okay. First half, then second half, and then resting year, and that's what I've tried, and that's simple enough. I don't have patience to do it so complicated, and I think the farmer needs so simple method as possible. That's why I think the total cut is the best method, because then you just cut everything that looks like that it's in cutting turn that year, and that's the simplest way to do it.
Thank you.
Okay, Andre also had one question, I see, or comment.
Yes, thank you. Both question and comments. As Yuri asked the difference between those two methods, I investigated and implemented. Just a short comment. In Latvia, the total cut and vertical split they do not work well. That's why we use this 4-year cycle method I explained to you before. And I'm glad, Sanna, that you didn't forget my vertical split and tried, and it bears quite good results in Finland. At the same time, I am interested, I would like to know the reasons why the total cut works well in Finland, it doesn't work well in Latvia. And that's why my question for you is, what is the time when do you perform this total cut? I mean the months. Is it in September or August? And what is the time?
About Terhi and Tytti seem to be almost the same time every year, and it's middle of September to the end of September. It has a quite long time when you can harvest those two cultivars. They are not so exact, but not before middle of September. And then Irja is a little bit earlier, like a week earlier, but still in September.
Thank you, Sanna. And I think that is the reason why it works in Finland and doesn't work in Latvia. As you remember from my presentation, I showed the so-called healthy pre-dormancy level of the starch collected by the plant and sent down to the roots and to the forks to allocate these nutrients. And I see if you do it in September, I think that your climate allows the plants to allocate these nutrients down to roots. But we have to start our harvesting already in the middle of August, and that's why that's the reason why the total cut doesn't work well in Latvia. Thank you. That was all.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. David had one question. Is it right? David, switch on microphone, please.
It's just a comment between that conversation. We harvest your varieties, Andre, in right at the end of July, 2026, 27, 28. But we're only cutting probably around 30% of the plant each year.
Do you have terhi or tytti? Or your
Terhi, my terhi, I'm harvesting probably right at the beginning of September.
Okay. Okay.
And
Oh,
about 3 kilos, 3 kilos a plant, but they're very small.
Yeah. They don't like other countries. They like just Finland.
When we have very heavy rainfall now, in very sharp rainfall, and that they don't like that. Rainfall seems, when the ground gets saturated, we seem to lose plants.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you very much, Sanna. Very interesting and glad to hear.